Hey YouTube, this is Tom at TM Aquatics. Hope everyone's doing great. The fish room has never been this quiet. I mean, it is so quiet back here. And why is it quiet? Well, recently I did an unboxing video and I showed you that I picked up a new linear piston air pump from Jehmco, the LPH80. Now originally I said I was going to install that the week of the 20th because I have that week off from work and I have plenty of time that week to do it. But you know what? I also had time this weekend. So I went ahead and I hooked up the new air system, unplugged the other 8 air pumps back here, and I got to tell you, this new Jehmco pump was worth every penny. So stick around, I'll take you on a quick tour, show you the new air system back here in the fish room. So don't go away, let's get started. Alright YouTube, there is the new beast of a pump, the new Jehmco LPH80. And I'm only about 2 feet away from it, and I cannot hear that thing at all. I mean, you really have to put your ear towards it to really hear it. Now, I knew these things were quiet. I didn't realize they were like almost silent. But for comparison purposes, here's the old Chinese filter or air pump. You can see the size different. I was running 3 of these and a bunch of Tetra Whisper 100s back here. And this one Jehmco LPH80 linear piston air pump is providing more air than those other 8 pumps combined, and it's doing it at a fraction of the noise level. Now my fish room was noisy before. I thought it was quiet. You get used to it, but it was, you know, 75, 76 decibels back here at any given time, sometimes a little bit louder, and it's like 45 decibels back here now. It's just crazy silent. So anyways, the pump, this is the fitting that Jehmco provides. It goes up into a 1-inch slip ball valve, and then it goes into 1-inch PVC is what I used around the fish room. Now I have a lot of obstacles in my ceiling in this storage room here. This is also a utility room, and rather than using any more elbows and 45-degree PVC fittings that I needed to, I just decided to have this side of the fish room have it suspended, and it worked out really good. You can see I have the air valves in there. I did not buy my air valves from Jehmco. I actually bought them from Ken's Fish. Same exact thing. The Jehmco sells, Ken's Fish just sells them for like 15 or 20 cents cheaper each. And I already had an order that I needed to submit at Ken's Fish, so why not save a few bucks and buy them through Ken? I have 8 drop lines over here. 6 of them are hooked up, which is what I had hooked up before. The other 2 are for future needs in case I need to drop some grow out boxes on these tanks, or I might actually start replacing the hang-on backs with like these Zis moving bed filters. That's kind of the plan anyways. The air line takes a corner there. I've got 4 lines over here. One of them comes down to my brine shrimp hatchery. The other 3 drop down to this new 40 breeder grow out tank that I'm going to be setting up tonight. I need to drill the tank and hook up some plumbing. It's going to be drained. It's going to have same thing I have in my 75s. It's going to have an overflow. It's going to drain into my sump basket. It's not going to be hooked up to the auto water change system yet, but it will in the future. There's one of the Chinese pumps up there. I still need to take it down, but it's unplugged. The 1-inch line continues behind the shrimp rack here. And I have 14 valves behind the shrimp rack. 12 of them are in use with sponge filters. One is in use. I added an air stone back here, and one is not being used. It's for future need if I ever need to put a breeder box on the L260 tank or the Ocellatus tank. Line continues over here. The shelf is where I had 3 Tetra pumps up there for the 5 grow out tanks over here. Each grow out tank I had 1 line. I had 1 sponge filter in each tank. I have now put 10 drop lines up here. So each 20 gallon has 2 air lines. In some cases I have 2 filters in each tank. Others just has a filter and a air stone. I do plan to replace these sponge filters back here. They just get clogged too fast for me. So I'm going to go with a little smaller PPI. In other words, larger pour, so they don't get clogged quite as fast. Kind of like these Hydro Pro filters over here. So I'm going to replace those eventually, but I have 10 lines over here. Turns a corner. Here's my bleed valve here, and this bleed valve is actually making more noise than the actual air pump. I am bleeding some air out of here. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I'll put the mic up to it. I don't know if y'all heard that, but that is making more sound than the actual air pump. And then I forget how many lines I have behind the Pleco rack, but you can see I have an air stone running now back in the L134 tank. I have 2 breeder boxes, I have an egg tumbler, and I actually ended up splitting this line and running another breeder box up there. I have a fish up there that's isolated. It's not being fed for 2 days. It's going to ship out, an L134 fry. Plenty of air though coming out of all the sponges. I still need to tweak it a little bit. Some sponges are running a little fast, too fast for what I really need, and some aren't getting enough. So I still need to play around with the valves a little bit and dial the system in, but keep in mind again, I am bleeding some air over here, so I definitely have more air available if I need it. But the airline comes and makes a corner, follows the wall there. I've got 7 lines up here. I do want to add 1 more line over here. And then I take that line and tuck it back and run it back to close the loop off. Now here's where things get a little interesting. Right here on this T, you can see I've got that little downspout thing, and I have it capped right now. But here's what I'm going to do. When you have a central air pump like this, one pump, it is a good idea to have a backup. Well, these Jehmco pumps are pretty expensive. This one was $289, but they do sell a diaphragm version of the same similar size, the LPH80, and that's only $185, and I do plan to get one of those eventually. But for now, in case this pump craps out on me, I still have a contingency back here. So this is what I will do. I will take, where is it? Right here. I will take my 3 Chinese air pumps. And there's all the whispers I unplugged there. So I have that Chinese air pump there, that one up there, and then 1 more over there. So I will take them all down and I will set them in a box somewhere. And if this pump craps out on me, actually what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be cutting that cap off and putting a ball valve up there, and I'll just keep this closed off. Then if I ever need it, I just open up the ball valve here. I have an extra 1-inch PVC stick over here. I have it capped on the end. I still need to drill 3 holes, and I will insert and screw in these barb fittings here. And this is the same size barb fitting that the airline I was using on these Chinese air pumps takes. So I will have 3 fittings down towards the bottom of this PVC stick down there. If the Jehmco pump fails, I take this stick here. I will insert it into, well, the ball valve will be up there. I'll put it into the ball valve, open the ball valve, close this one off here, plug those 3 Chinese air pumps in, and that will be enough air to keep my life support system, all the sponge filters in the tanks going. I might have to shut off some air stones and such, but it'll be enough power, enough air to keep all the sponge filters going. So that's my contingency with what I currently have. Now eventually when I get that replacement or a backup Jehmco pump, then I won't have to worry about it so much. But yeah, this new Jehmco pump, definitely worth every penny. It's super quiet back here, almost eerie quiet. All I hear is the bubbles in the tank. So definitely worth the investment in my opinion, and seems to be working out really well. So really excited to add this back to the fish room, and wasn't too bad of a project. It only took me about 4.5 hours. I did glue all my fittings. I know a lot of people don't. But I did glue all my fittings. I just didn't want any air leaking, and didn't want to have to worry about any of those connections coming apart. Once I had everything glued, I let the system run for about 24 hours to allow time for the glue to run, or dry rather, and then with the air pumping through, it just kind of cleared out all that PVC glue smell. Didn't want any of that making its way into the fish tanks, and then I hooked up the air lines. So really not a bad project. 4.5 hours is all it took, and real happy with how it turned out. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and end this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. We're going to be adding some more tanks and picking up some new species of fish here for the fish room in the very near future. And with that said, hope everyone has a terrific day. And until the next one, we'll catch you all later.